Did you know that 1.24 billion people connect to Facebook every day? Over the last decade, social networking sites have grown and changed more than any other internet activity. This is due to the increase of mobile devices, making it easier for people to access social networking sites at any time and location. A lot of people don't think about the consequences of posting information online. We often forget about the trails of valuable information that is left behind when we interact on social media sites. What do we mean by valuable information? Our information can be valuable to many, whether it be corporations, the government, stalkers, thieves, and many more. Our information is a source of currency. That is why the word protect often accompanies the word privacy. In order to learn more about the issue of online privacy, we have decided to talk to our professors, Maggie and Chris.
I'm Dr. Chris Schmidt. I'm a sessional instructor in the Computing Science Department at SFU.
So my name is Maggie McCauley. I'm a PhD candidate in the School of Communication here at Simon Fraser. I'm also a sessional instructor. I teach courses on social media. So my area of interest is in online dating and sexual health.
The first question we asked Maggie and Chris was what information is safe to post online and the potential consequences of sharing certain information.
The better question is, what do you need to be careful about? And some of the things for this are obvious. You don't want to put up your credit card numbers or account numbers. In the worst case, if someone uses your online information, they can find information about whether you're at home or not, what your habits are, and it can lead to crimes such as burglary or stalking, things like that. And then of course there's the issues with identity theft. If people have access to even things like your birthday and your phone number, that can give them access to your accounts. If you share information like your pets' names or things like that that are used for security question, whenever you create a password for a bank account or something like that, they'll give you these security questions in case you lose your password. So what is your mom's maiden name? What is your pet's name? What is your first pet's name? And if you have these answers to these questions public, then again, people can sort of get access into your accounts through sort of an unexpected way. They don't need your password, they just have to figure out the answer to these questions.
Many people seem to be aware of the risks of sharing information online. In fact, 60% of Facebook users set their profiles to private. Though people seem to be aware of the dangers of sharing information, they are surprisingly uninformed about the specific information of theirs that is being collected. Here is a chart of the percentage of people who know what type of information is actually being collected. As you can see, not a lot of people realize that certain things are being collected, such as web surfing history, friends lists, IP addresses, and many more categories shown.
Well, I mean, we already do monitor a lot, I think, of what we say. We're hyper aware of it. But to ask that question in that way, it also kind of, I think particularly when we're talking about corporate platforms, it also kind of puts the onus on us instead of thinking about why our emails are monitored or why it's not necessarily private. So again, this question of like, should we do it? Well, yes, but maybe we should, but what are the other alternatives we can think of?
Though people are taking action to protect their information, it may not be enough to become invisible online.
I do not believe it's possible to be completely invisible online and lead a normal life these days. The only way to really be invisible online is to do everything completely anonymously or to drop off the grid. But for any normal person, it's basically impossible. You're going to want to have some sort of accounts online, some information online. You can stay off of social media and limit it as much as possible. There are programs that you can use that help you from sort of inadvertently giving information through cookies on websites and through social applications and that. You can be careful about when you're signing up for apps or social media sites or that. They often have privacy policies where you can opt in or opt out of allowing any of your information to be shared.
You cannot be invisible. Like, you give up this anonymity and this and being invisible and being unknown as soon as you log on to these sites, and as soon as there's an exchange of information, it's known. So it's very common for us to think, oh, I don't have to worry about privacy or anything because I change all my privacy settings on my Facebook, and so no one can see anything. Well, that's great, and Facebook wants you to think that. But actually, Facebook has all of the data on you. It's just not visible to others. So there's two audiences we need to think of, and while we can control modes of self-presentation and self-disclosure to these sort of public audiences, to other people, we don't necessarily get that same kind of control when it comes to corporations and when it comes to governments. And so that's the kind of surveillance and privacy issues that are, I think, really, really concerning.
There's the common notion that if we have nothing to hide, there is nothing to fear. But if this is true, then why do we need passwords to protect our accounts?
You can say you have nothing to hide and post, information online about your location. You can post pictures about what you're doing, and they're just fun pictures. You're not embarrassed about it or anything like that. But you can, apply for a job, and they'll do a search for you on social media. And if they see pictures of you at a bar drinking, if they see pictures of you just having fun with friends, even in what's basically an innocent way, it can give the wrong impression to people.
First of all, you don't have something to hide until you actually do. And second of all, if that were actually true, I would ask you the question of, so if this is true, are you going to give me your email passwords?
Just because you have nothing to hide doesn't mean you have nothing to fear. You still have to be careful about what you put online. That can either be taken advantage of directly by people or give the wrong impression to people who are looking for information about you.
So this idea of being totally transparent is really concerning, because some people can, yes, easily be transparent about everything in their lives, but not everybody has that life path. So we have to think about, this idea of nothing to hide, nothing to fear, and also the kind of underlying thing about fear, right? That we're afraid of what will happen if people find out this information, and how information is weaponized against us.
In order to protect your information, there are a few precautionary steps we advise you to take. Number 1, change your passwords every 6 months. This will make it a lot more difficult for hackers to get onto your account. Number 2, limit the amount of information you share online, especially information you least expect. This includes pet names that can be used as answers to bank security questions, as Chris stated before. Number 3, learn how to block cookies so sites aren't able to track your online activity. We hope this video has provided you the tools and knowledge to better protect yourself online. Thank you for watching.